executive that owns a multi-million-dollar company at this point. You ain't just doing a backyard wrestling show.
There needs to be an adult in the room.
Facts. And
And
his
sometimes it just
dad don't
doesn't
care.
seem like there's an adult in the room.
Yeah, especially lately. Like the comment he made about the bots. Like, come on, Tony, you're better than that. Come on, man. Like that's a bad look. That's a
Somebody
terrible
got to
look.
take. I saw that. I'm like, yo, someone take his phone. Just take his phone,
For
please.
real, man. Like it's just irresponsible. So if Tony's gotta stop getting in his own way with that kind of stuff. He's got to learn the saying that, and this is comes with experience. Less is more most of the time, man. Even though like we miss the days of that stuff in WWE, we also understand why they can't do that anymore. Like that's a publicly traded company, and they gotta behave a certain way to keep their stockholders happy, and that's what Tony kind of like. He knows he's not there yet, so he can get away with this stuff. But at the same token, if he ever wants to compete with those guys, you got to play the game like them too. So that's all I got. But that's a good point though about the True TV network. I wasn't thinking about that originally.
I think that's the landing spot for AEW. Not for Ring of Honor. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah,
maybe that's a big announcement. You know, Tony's got a big announcement next week, like he does every week.
Oh, so. If that's the big announcement, oh man, I'm coming on the pod. I'm coming on the pod, and I'm muting all you motherfuckers except JMO, just so I can yell at JMO. 100%.
I'm okay with that mute. I will sit there and laugh the entire time on mute. I'm good.
100%.
But yeah. No, I agree though. Ring of Honor needs either another entity or something else to make that move.
How you feel about Joe winning the TV title last night?
It was cool to see, man. I'm here for Joe to get his indie flowers. That's what I'm calling him right now. Everybody's paying respect to Samoa Joe. I haven't heard Joe's gonna kill you in the ring in a long time from him. It's because where his career kind of went. When he showed up in WWE, I was super pumped. Even though
that was one of the first NXTs I had watched live when Joe made his debut. I was kind of like looking away a little bit as Kevin Owens was stomping out somebody, and I looked up and said, "Holy shit!"
Yep, and he wasn't even in NXT. He was in NXT for like a year, and then he was on the main roster, right?
But then he kept getting hurt.
Yep, I think, and that's what I think hurt him. I think Samoa Joe, and he got some some decent storylines on the main roster. It wasn't like they just brought him up there to be on some mid-card bullshit. They had him he was marketed as like a psychopath, which is what you should be marketing.
So I can't remember if I told you guys this story or not, but Joe's second year on the main roster, at Mania, he was scheduled to go against Cena, and he was scheduled to go over Cena.
Really?
Because when John Cena was first starting out in wrestling, he spent about 3 weeks on the Indies before he got the call to go to OVW. In Cali with Samoa Joe. They used to drive to shows together, and John would rap. So Joe was familiar with the Doctor of Thugonomics before anybody. And if you go back and you watch I think it's a Monday Night Raw around that time before Joe got hurt again, he said it was something going on in the title picture, and he said, "I'll talk about John Cena at a later time." And they were starting to plant the seeds, and that was going to be the feud going into that Mania. But Joe got that concussion, and it kept him out of Mania. But that was going to be the start of them putting the rocket on Joe.
Got you. And they believed in him, man. It wasn't like they didn't give him a shot.
You can't watch the man work and not believe in him.
Yeah, I agree. And even though he's not direct Samoa Dynasty Samoan, still a nice gimmick. I was sold on it. I bought Samoa Joe as this crazy ass choke out artist machine that just wants to fucking raise havoc.
Or a dude that can just ether you on the microphone. We got on the mic and said to Jeff Hardy, said, "Hey Jeff, why don't you treat this like group therapy and shut up when I'm sharing with the group?" I was like, yo.
That's funny.
And then right after that, because he said the feud with AJ too, he looked right at AJ and said, "And AJ, how's Wendy? I was like,
Ooh,
yo, Joe talked he talked like a real nigga, man.
absolutely, man. It's
There's
that's
one thing about Joe and his promos is he talk like a dude that's ready to actually fight,
mm-hmm.
and I always
Oh
appreciate
yeah.
that about Joe.
He don't play, man, but I'm here for it. I'm happy he's got the Ring of Honor TV title. Have they have put the Ring of Honor heavyweight title on somebody yet, or we're still kind of building up?
Jonathan Gresham has it.
Got you. Okay.
Jonathan Gresham,
Who's
what do they
Tony?
call him, the octopus?
What random AEW person that Tony kind of likes that he forgot about is he gonna send to him to take it? He's
I
not
don't know.
that.
I think you know what Gresham does. He defends that title on the AEW Battle of the Belts, which we will get to after we talk a little bit about still the best show week to week in wrestling.
Yeah.
Talking about that NXT. Huh.
2.0.
2.0, 2.0.
Gotta squeeze the 2.0 in there.
Guys,
Yeah.
got to squeeze that 2.0 in there. They put the color splashes in the belt. E-Ray
Yeah.
hates it. I don't mind it.
I don't mind it because that's the brand. I don't like it because why?
It
Why would
looks
you
better
try
on the white belt
to?
than it does on the black belt. The women's
Oh
belt, I
yeah,
should
on
say.
Mandy's belt. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I just don't like it because of all the colors, but
Yeah.
that's the brand though, so I get it. Um,
It's like
it's just not.
Dominic Mysterio. I don't hate it. I don't necessarily like it a lot, but I'm like, it is what it is.
I just hate. Ugh, God, if he could just speed up his work, Dub, I'd leave him alone. But yes, yeah, the NXT titles are they don't bother me because it's the brand, you know. Um, but the man holding them, Braun Breaker, had a lot
Braun
to say
Breaker.
this week to start off NXT. No. To the moon. Cameron Grimes and
Yeah, Cameron Grimes is
Baby Oos
solo.
started it off. Yeah, Baby Oos started it off.
Good
It
match.
was a banger.
Good match.
I love the cold open into a match. By the way, like two dudes just standing in the ring ready to bang it out. Like
Same.
I'm here
Same.
for that. Just let's get right into it. I
Same.
like that when
Let's
NXT
get
does
let's get
that.
right to the smoke.
Yes, exactly. And then when you start like that, you're like this got to be a banging ass match. And you know Cameron Grimes and Soko, they did their thing. I wasn't mad at it at all. You saw some Carmelo and Trick nonsense. Um, I'm smelling a triple threat match at some point in the near future.
I can see
Uh,
that. I can see
so
that.
I'm here for that though. That'll be a banger, especially because Mello and Sokoa got their little Twitter beef, which is hilarious because there's like there. It reminds me of like on 2K, on WWE 2K when you start beefing with people in the My Rise stuff. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it's like. How they were talking to each other. I'm like, are they really tweeting this, or is somebody telling them to tweet this stuff word for word, like
I,
copy and paste this shit?
I think my favorite thing about that match, outside of the match being a great match, is Trick Williams stomping dudes out in them expensive ass boots he had on.
Yes,
I'm like,
yes,
damn it. I'm like,
yes.
they get it. They get it. They
Mm-hmm.
get it on a level that like is above everything else. Like Trick Williams is supposed to be this extravagant, expensive, jive talking, just tough guy
I've
that
talked.
he talks jive. He
Yes,
talks
he
jive. You
does.
know he does. And he's
Yes,
stomping them out
JJF.
in shoes that most people in that crowd can't even afford. Oh,
Right,
this is
nor
great.
pronounce. Yes,
Exactly.
I agree. But that's their gimmick, though. Him and Mello, man, them dudes are cocky, arrogant heels, and I'm here for all of it.
And it works.
Yes,
It just
100%. Even
works.
though Trick can't fight a lick, as far as
That's
in
the whole
range,
gimmick. It's
yes,
so
as far as
great.
in ring performance, seeing him jump on dudes and gimmick punch and stomp them is hilarious to me. Especially in these outfits he be wearing, like you said, like them expensive ass boots. Like, come on, man, I would have took them shits off and stomped them out in my socks personally.
See, but
Like
yeah, you're not as swaggy as Trick though.
exactly. I got to work for that swagginess. He wake
Yeah,
up, it just exudes out of his pores. So
because
no,
Trick will stomp somebody out in them boots, knowing that if you scuff him up, he can just go get some more. Because it's
exactly.
Trick Williams, baby. We bought it.
He already got them on pre-order. He got another pair
Exactly.
just ready to go. Just click send
So
on the
again,
app, bro.
intro, great, and then I think Braun came up next, right?
Yeah,
For the
Brian
sake
and
of this pod, I don't care. Braun came up next,
yes,
dropped
him and Casey.
a very I guess a very like cookie cutter babyface promo.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's funny, bruh? Like, back to Cornette, he was talking about the Hall of Fame, and he was like, it would be a damn shame if they didn't use Rick Steiner in a storyline to get more heat on his son before it even happened. And I'm like, look at Cornette. Like, just knows the business.
Yeah, he
And that's his, and lo and
knows how to
behold,
book it.
exactly. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. And I mean, and it doesn't hurt the fact that Bruce Pritchard, the person that Jim Cornette worked with for like 8 years when they was in WWE together, is the one booking all this shit out with Brian, him and Vince. So of course he's gonna like
No, it's Bruce
he's
and
a
Shawn
very
actually.
Bruce and Shawn, really.
Shawn Michaels is the head booker of
So
NXT right now.
I'm gonna put a pin in that. What is Vince's responsibility? Is he the one ripping up scripts like on Raw?
No,
Or
so Vince came in and like decided to throw out the black and gold and bring in this whole concept. He's
right,
kind of the overarching figure.
got it.
Vince has a lot more involvement now, but
Mm-hmm.
it's Bruce and it's Shawn who are
Got it. And
booking
back in
NXT.
got it. Okay. So, because I came in late with the
Yeah,
2.0. So once
I
I
know.
heard it,
I've been doing reading about this because like
mm-hmm.
honestly, to a point, it wasn't making sense to me. I'm like, how can Vince book a show this good on Tuesdays
Exactly. That's what I was sitting here. I'm like, wait a
and
minute. Like,
Mondays
I'm like,
be
Vince.
trash and SmackDown
Exactly.
just be missable outside of one guy?
Exactly.
I did some research.
I think Shawn Michaels still being there is a big, big, big plus because that's essentially Triple H. As far as everything Shawn learned, because Triple H was doing it at first and he brought Shawn
Mm-hmm.
in. So even though Trips, I'm sure he's probably there still, but he's not getting final say so like Shawn and Bruce Pritchard are. But with that all being said, I think listening, like, anytime you want to know what's about to happen on NXT as far as this whole Braun push, let's listen to what Cornette has to say because you're gonna see it probably soon because he knows how those guys think. But yeah, I'm sorry.
Joe Gacy though, Joe Gacy.
Yeah, let's get into that, man. I got some.
Um,
Let me crack my beer for this one.
here's my whole issue with it. Joe
Mm-hmm.
Gacy's had like 4 total matches on 2.0. Most of
Really,
the work he's done has been like on Level Up and standing next to Harland.
not good. Not good then.
Like
Why? Why
I
are
don't
they
see
sending
the
him after? Why?
build there.
Well, as I say, there's so many other heels you can send after Brian Breaker that can talk on a microphone and actually like sell what they're saying. Why Joe Gacy? Like you see more of him than me. Can you tell me why? What they
I
see?
think Joe's great on the mic. I think Joe is like phenomenal
Yeah,
on the
he's
mic.
got a Bray. He's got a Bray vibe, heavy.
It's not even Bray though. It's deeper than that. It's because like he's using the whole acceptance thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
his whole gimmick is gaslighting people.
Facts.
That's the whole gimmick, and he does it very well because he's just a creepy individual.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But
I
what
think
can he
my
do on
issue is
the ring?
just like the build wasn't there for me to make him seem like he's the top heel on NXT to go at Braun.
Yeah, because Dolph. I think Dolph is done on NXT right now.
Yeah, Dolph's done.
He did what he had to
Dolph did
do.
the job. He did the
Yes,
job. He'll
he's
get
back on
rewarded on
Raw.
the main roster
Back in
somehow.
craft services. Him and Bobby Roode are back there just messing with the
Cool.
bad bitches on in craft service.
250K. Cool.
Yep, exactly. Dolph getting like a half mil. Bobby Roode's
Oh yeah,
getting
Dolph has to be getting a half.
because he's been around for a while doing those jobs.
Absolutely.
But yeah, to your point, Dub, I didn't see this being the next thing for Brian. I feel like this is just something for him to do while they kind of wait for his eventual like push up to the main roster, which I hope doesn't happen. I hope they give him some. That feud with him and Zoff was dope, or Dolph was dope. Excuse me.
They gotta give him some time.
Right, absolutely. They got to let him actually build a name up. It's like kind of like to compare it back to 2K when you're going through the ranks of NXT and you're doing great with that North American title. It isn't me like, hey, you want to go to SmackDown? You can easily say, yeah, I'm ready to go. Or you can say, no, I want to build my legacy in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Brian's got to build his legacy, man. He's like the poster boy for this new brand change.
Yeah.
So if your poster boy is going to be there for 5 months, that's sending me the wrong message as a fan of NXT 2.0. I think that you got to have a guy like you got to have those Champa guys, like those guys that are there to die on the stake. Like, I'm here no matter what. Y'all